Hello, welcome to Prairie Imperfection. My name is Lisa, and today I wanted to share with you my early pregnancy symptoms, or the symptoms that I felt during my 2-week wait. And if you've watched my live pregnancy test video, you will see that I am pretty confident that I'll get a positive, and I wanted to share with you why I was so confident that I would get my BFP, or my big fat positive. So let's get into it. So I keep track of my period, but I do not know my ovulation dates. So I cannot tell you days past ovulation or anything like that, but I will just kind of refer to days in my cycle to give you a kind of idea of the timeline of things. So I was active on day 14, and then by about day 18 is when I started to feel some pregnancy symptoms, and my first earliest pregnancy symptoms that I felt was a big appetite and super emotional. I was, like crying more, maybe not even not crying, but like I would kind of get emotional while, watching movies or people's YouTube videos, or, simple things that I don't usually get emotional about. I got emotional about something with my husband to do with church, and my husband actually mentioned that on the Sunday, which would have been like day 18, I think. Maybe you're pregnant because you're getting over emotional about kind of something small. And yes, then I thought about it and kind of agreed with him, because also the last couple days, like, the 17th and 18th, and then following into that whole week, I wanted to eat everything. I couldn't like stop eating. I was just, do you ever get those days where you just have a huge appetite and just can't fill your hollow leg or whatever? Yes, that's what I had. And usually I get those days like a couple days before I'm getting my period. So the fact that I was getting that on day like 17 of my cycle, I thought maybe I could be pregnant. So yes, those were the two major things that stuck out through the 2-week wait, was the big appetite and super emotional about everything. And then another two symptoms that showed up shortly after and continued to go through my 2-week wait was frequent urination and fatigue. So I started to get really tired and needed to like have naps during the day, which isn't normal most of the time, and then I had to pee all the time, which I was trying to increase my water intake at that point, but it was still like abnormally too much going to the bathroom, I felt like. So those 4 things together, I really felt confident that I was pregnant. Then I had a few other things that kind of tipped the scale, I guess, which was sometimes I had breast tenderness, not a whole lot, not a big obvious symptom, but there was some breast tenderness. And I also had like digestive issues. I wasn't nauseous per se, but like, yeah, kind of, what do you call that? Irritable stomach, kind of some tummy issues, which I thought could be maybe a pregnancy symptom too. So yes, all of that added up. I felt pretty confident I was pregnant. Now, I had a month like in May where I felt pregnant, and I tested like 5 times and it kept getting negative, and it ended up I was not pregnant. So I promised myself that month that I wouldn't do that again, like testing so many times. So I didn't want to test. Here comes my little son with his cookies. I didn't want to test a whole bunch of times. I wanted to just test once. But I caved one time. Sorry I had to interrupt this presentation or whatever. Because my son pooped all over the place, I had to clean that up. Ugh, if I would have known how much poop would be involved in motherhood. Okay. So as I was saying, I didn't want to test and stress myself out, so I promised myself if I ever, felt like I was pregnant again, I would wait until I didn't get my period. But I got too tempted on, I think it was the 25th day. I went and bought a 4 days earlier pregnancy test, and I have this whole year been getting my period on either the 26th or the 27th day of the cycle. So taking a test on the 25th was like maybe only 2 days early. So I took that test and it was negative. And I told you all those symptoms I was having already, so I thought, okay, maybe I just tested too early, and I remember in my previous pregnancies that, I never got a positive test until the day of my expected period or after. So I must have low HCG levels to begin with, or I ovulate late in the cycle or something. I don't know why, but early response pregnancy tests don't really work for me. So I waited until the 29th day, which would have been, the day of an expected period if I had regular periods like I used to have before this year. I used to have always 28-day cycles, so that would have been the day of my expected period. So I tested again, and that is when I took the video that I made about the live pregnancy test. And it was a big fat positive, or positive anyways. That was my 2-week wait. Thank you for watching. Let me know what was your main symptoms that made you feel like you were pregnant or gave you the clue that you were pregnant down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.